investigator in charge. I'm going to be helping her out. The rest of the NTSB team is comprised of a senior systems engineer. His name is Cheech Chihone. We call him Cheech. He is working with the Wreckers right now. He's going to be doing primarily the heavy lift as far as this accident investigation goes, because right now we look at three different areas when we do accident investigations: man, machine, environment. Man being the human portion, the human performance. We also have the machine, which is the mechanical, did something break, and then the environment, which is usually weather, could include other things like runway conditions, what have you. But it's a process of elimination. At this point right now, this early juncture, nothing has been eliminated at this point. However, we are putting a big emphasis on the engineering portion of this, the airworthiness, so that's why Cheech is here. He traveled all the way from Washington, D.C., and he's going to be conducting an extensive wreckage examination and trying to find out exactly what happened here with this accident. There's also a number of other folks that are involved in this accident investigation. It's kind of like that tip of the iceberg thing. The three of us are here from the NTSB, but there's a host of people. There's meteorologists, performance engineers, ATC investigators that are also working on this accident behind the scenes and remotely. So there's a large team working on this accident to try and figure out what in heaven's name happened here. So let me give you a little idea of how we got to where we are. So this accident, as you know, happened on Tuesday. This airplane departed Honolulu International Airport on runway 4 left. Typically, from what we understand from the operator and also from our ATC folks, is typically after departure, this airplane would turn to the right. That's what they were anticipating. However, that was obviously not the case. The controller, air traffic controller, questioned the pilot. The pilot indicated that there was a mechanical issue as far as control of the airplane. And then obviously the left turn steepened, and unfortunately a loss of control into the building behind us here. So that's where we've been. Where we are right now, we're working in a building that has been compromised as far as the structural integrity. So we're having to approach this much more cautiously than we would if it was out in the middle of a field. We have the state engineers that are working with us. We obviously, as you saw, have the Honolulu Fire Department here assisting us. There's a number of components in the building and on top of the building. A majority of the wreckage went over the top of the building and into the parking lot. However, we need to be able to recover all those parts and pieces. So without a doubt, we have some challenges here that we don't normally work with, but we are trying to tackle those challenges. We're working with Kamaka Air, their insurance company, and their adjusters at this point right now. So that's where we are right now. Where we're headed here over the next couple of days, our goal is to try and remove this wreckage after it's meticulously documented. We already have a secure location where Cheech and the rest of the NTSB team and also the manufacturer, we do have an investigator here from Cessna. He's assisting Cheech in that. And our intent is to try and put this airplane back together to the best of our ability. That's how we do how we work. But we're going to try and lay this airplane out and see if there was a mechanical issue, either with the airframe or with the engine. No, nothing has been ruled out at this point. We're still very much in the formative stages of the investigation, but that gives you a little bit of an idea of where we've been, where we are now, and where we're headed. So I'll take questions.
Can I ask you, we've had plane crashes in the past where there's much more fuselage. Obviously, just even if you're not a professional, it looks like there's not much left of this plane. How does that impact your investigation, not having a complete plane or larger pieces of the plane?
Sure. So just to clarify the question so everybody knows what it is, you're asking is, as far as the damage to the airplane, is that going to hinder our investigation? Yeah, obviously the airplane is highly fragmented. No ifs, no ands, no buts. There's no way to candy that up. That obviously complicates our investigation. However, Cheech is probably one of the best. So we are, again, he's the one that's going to be doing the heavy lifting on this one. But we're confident. We have a lot of information that's coming in. We've got lots of witnesses that have come forward. A lot of witnesses, as well as high definition video. So I'm pretty confident that we're gonna document this wreckage. I'm hopeful that we can find out what happened here, and so I hope that answers your question.
What about a black box or kind of recorder device? Is there anything like that here?
Right, so just to clarify the question here, did this airplane have any kind of regular recording device, cockpit voice recorder or flight data recorder, black boxes? No, unfortunately not. It's not required for this type of airplane. However, the caveat to that is there is what we refer to as NVM, or non-volatile memory. There's certain components in this airplane, whether it's GPSs, trend monitoring, engine trend monitoring devices, that we can actually recover if they're not too badly damaged. We could send those to our vehicle recorder lab. They can download those things, and they can give us a glimpse into basically what happens in those final seconds. We're looking for those boxes right now. We know that there's a couple on board. However, as you can see from the condition of the wreckage there, highly fragmented, it's going to be a chore to be able to find those. Some of those boxes are the size of a package of gum. Some of them are a little bit bigger than that. So that's what we're looking for right now.
You know, there's a lot of structures around here. There's a lot of people around here. There's a fuel tank right across the street. As a layperson, I feel like this could have been a whole lot worse. Like, what's your guys' initial assessment of that?
Yeah, so just to clarify the question, there's a lot of things around here, fuel tanks, the light rail system, to name another one, the highways. Yeah, I mean, as horrible as this accident is, and we never want to lose sight of that, this could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And once we start looking at the layout, the trajectory of the airplane, the trajectory of the wreckage, I agree 100%. This could have been a lot worse. Leave it at that.
How important is, we saw dash cam video, how important are videos like that? It seems like so many people now have that sort of capability, whether it be in their cars, on dashes, things like that. I know you guys put a call out to anyone who might have video.
Right.
How important is that for you? And as someone who's done this investigation over a number of years, how has it changed the way you guys look at crashes?
So the question is how does video, cell phone, high definition security cameras, how does that change our investigation? In some cases, and a lot more just recently here, it's invaluable. We have lots of video from dash cams, high definition security cameras. Obviously, what we'll do with that data is we're going to collect all that. And we actually send that data off to our vehicle recorder lab, and they're able to, in some cases, if it's sound, they can tell us the RPM of that prop, believe it or not. It's called sound spectrum analysis. So those pieces of data, whether it's video, sound, or whatever, are invaluable. So again, just to stress, if there are any videos or even sound recordings, if you can forward those to us, get a hold of one of us. The way to get a hold of us, the easiest, is witness@ntsb.gov. Witness@ntsb.gov. That's the best way to get it to us. It's either going to come to Stacia or to myself, but if those files are available out there, I definitely ask if we could maybe get those forwarded to us.
What can you tell us about this type of aircraft and previous crashes that it's been involved in?
So the Cessna 208 is kind of the workhorse. I mean, harken back to Alaska there, that's kind of that's the one in Bush, Alaska, that is kind of taking the place of the older airframes, the older airplanes out there. It's a tried and true airplane. It's been around for a long time. This airplane is what we refer to as a 208B. So it has a very large turbine engine in it. This is turbine powered turboprop. So, as far as past crashes, we're really not at that juncture right now to see if there's any similarities. We will get there, but obviously this is a well-known airplane, a well-known workhorse in not only in Alaska but worldwide and Hawaii.
Can you talk about what you would be looking for to determine whether it's pilot related or engine related, mechanically related?
Yeah, we are way too early to draw any conclusions. We're kind of like the puzzle solvers. We're still looking for all the pieces at this point. We haven't even got to the point of putting that puzzle together. So stand by. We are working on it. Our signature trademark is to deliver very detailed, accurate accident investigations and then determine probable cause. And by golly, that's exactly what we're going to do here. So.
Can I say what pieces you've recovered so far?
So as you can see before you folks got here, there was some debris from one of the wings on the building. The Honolulu Fire Department was kind enough to take 2 of our investigators up there to be able to recover some of those parts. They're basically wing parts. We also had the Sheriff's Department, I believe it was, had their drone out here. They not only Honolulu Fire, excuse me. Honolulu Fire brought 2 of their drones out here, which is amazing. They were able to give us a bird's eye view of all of the damage, all of the debris that's on the roof, on top of being able to go into the building and actually look in the building, fly their drone inside the building, which is amazing. I mean, that's an extremely valuable tool for us.
Because you can't go in.
Haven't gone into the building.
Yeah.
Have you feel the structural
No,
integrity?
we've been inside. Yeah, we've been inside the building. The majority of the damage is in the stairwell to the roof. So not a lot actually in the building, but in the stairwell, which has been severely compromised. That's kind of what we're working with right now to try and extract the parts that are in that stairwell. So that's where we're at.
Stacey, could you talk a little bit about, like he was mentioning, that it's sort of like a puzzle. You're literally collecting pieces. When you assemble this, it's not going to look like an airplane. Is that correct?
No.
Wait,
Yeah.
You can tell we're at an active airport.
Yeah. Yeah, just like Clint said, you know, there's airworthiness pieces, operation pieces, and weather pieces. Right now we're kind of in the information gathering phase, and we're just trying to collect everything, and then over time we put it all together in our puzzle. So we're still collecting parts of the airplane. We're getting witness statements. We've already had meteorology give us reports. And so now, again, we're just literally gathering information. And that's a big part of our investigation is this phase. So to gather all the information? Oh, yeah, sorry. That's a great question. Right now, we're literally gathering the parts of the airplane and the witness statements. And then it's going to be months of us to reassemble the airplane as best we can and do that investigation. But it's a lengthy process. We don't want to rush the process. We don't want to be hasty about our decisions and about the investigation because we want to be as thorough as we possibly can. So I can't give you a timeline. We don't want to make any mistakes and we don't want to exclude any possibilities.
Was there a sound box in there that you guys gathered information from? There was a little bit that was put out, I think. Like
When
a
you
little
say
clip.
sound box,
I don't know what it's called, the one in the airplane.
oh, like the
where-
black box?
Yeah, the black box.
Yeah, didn't necessarily have a cockpit voice recorder. This is what a lot of people think of when they say black box. A lot of people think cockpit voice recorder. This plane was not required to have a cockpit voice recorder, but there are other things that were on board the airplane, non-volatile materials that we hope have some information about the engine, about maybe the propeller or the turbine engine and the aircraft that we can hopefully get some information from. Again, we're gathering it now, and then we have a lot of amazing experts. We have a lab in DC, and hopefully they can help us get some information from those devices.
Clint, could I have you just if you could step real quick? Sure. One question. We have heard the back and forth between the air traffic controller and the pilot. That is recorded. The ATC, did they have the complete conversation that went on all the way up into the moment of impact?
Absolutely. So that's archived radio communication between the controller and the departing aircraft. Anytime at an airport like Honolulu International, that's going to be recorded. It's going to be saved for a while. Obviously, if there's an accident, they save it for right away. So I should mention that this was a training flight. So they basically had a senior training pilot that was presumably in the left seat. He was training a newer pilot. Still already a brand new pilot, so I don't want to say student pilot, but a newer pilot, lower time, that was training to be second in command. SIC is what we refer to, second in command training. So that was the purpose of the flight. We do understand from the operator that the Mayday call, or basically the anomaly that the crew reported, came from the instructor pilot. Again, that's unconfirmed at this point right now, but from the operator listening to that, they are fairly confident that that was the instructor pilot.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
You guys only have access to the roof through the fire department, or you guys have other ways?
So there is a problem with that. So where the airplane hit is the only stairwell. As you can see, that the stairwell was destroyed. We can't come very close to that because obviously there's parts of the building that are leaning over. So we're not able to get right up to the building. But to answer your question directly, the only way to get into that building, into the upper portion, is through that stairwell, and we're not going to do it there. So the only way to get into the building at this point right now is pretty much using the fire department and to get to where we need to get to. So
That's what you guys were doing earlier, right? When the fire truck was lifting.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Can
the
you just
stairwell.
point out, yeah, which one's the stairwell you're
Well,
pointing
it's
at?
around the other side. So if you go over on the road, you'll see it. There's no structure there left, so it's just a stairwell, so you can see it.
Okay.
Sorry, I might have missed this earlier. This is an abandoned building, right?
Yes,
Is it city owned?
it's owned by the state of Hawaii. Yes, it is abandoned. It's my understanding is it's slated to be torn down at some point in time. Just not sure exactly when that is.
So only 2 people were affected during the plane crash. Nobody else.
2 pilot crew on board, both pilots, and yes, no ground injuries, thankfully. So the building was unoccupied.
Clint, I don't know that you can speak to this, but I was asked to ask because you're in the field. If a government shutdown were to occur come Saturday, does that affect NTSB and your investigation into this crash?
So yeah, let's. So I've heard. Obviously, I've been a little busy here, but it sounds like maybe a government shutdown was averted. Is that correct?
From the best of my understanding, I was trying to find
Okay.
out. It sounds like it could be, but
Okay.
I'm just wondering if it does not.
So yes, it affects us, unfortunately. We have the ability to stay on scene. We have guidelines where we would have to, get the wreckage out of here, secure it, and then come back. Worst case scenario. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, especially under the circumstances. But we're dealing with what we're dealing with here. So yes. So to answer your question, it would affect us, unfortunately. So,
Thanks, Jackson.
Oh yeah, we need
Yeah.
spelling.
If you don't mind, just first name, last name.
sure. Clint Johnson, CLINT JOHNSON. And I'm the chief of the Alaska Regional Office of the NTSB that covers Hawaii as well.
Okay, Stacia, if you don't mind.
Stacia, STACIA, last name Joyce, JOYCE, investigator in charge.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
thanks, Clint. Appreciate it.
Do we have shots from the side that they're referring to? You know, that stairwell?
I'd have to drive over there.
Okay. We should probably get that.